If it is your custom to ponder prayerfully the readings that you hear on Sunday morning at Mass during the coming week, I would advise you to not do that this week if you want to be comfortable. The first reading tells us about wisdom and God's giving us a sense of understanding. And that made me think, well, yes, God said elsewhere, my ways are not your ways. I don't think the way you think. In other words, get your thinking in line with my thinking. And then, of course, in the second reading, we are told that the Word of God cuts, gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't let you have any ambiguity. Now, I don't know what he means by the Word of God. Does he mean the biblical Word that you're going to ponder? Or does he mean the Word of God, the Word who became flesh and dwelt among us? But in either case, be prepared to be cut to the quick by the Word of God on this Sunday. And then, of course, we know the gospel story about Jesus' remark on wealth and riches. So this could be a very uncomfortable week for us if we truly ponder these readings. But we're not rich. Well, are we rich or are we not rich? When I was a kid, if a person was a millionaire, it was 1 in 1,000. But there are millionaires floating around this country now because the wealth of our country has increased. And if we look at our brothers and sisters on the rest of the planet, most of whom spend the whole day getting ready for the one meal they can afford, we are very wealthy. So these readings can really strike at the heart of the way we live our lives. And I don't propose to give you any suggestions on how you should respond to these readings. But each one of us does need to respond to the readings that are presented to us week after week, especially at our Sunday gatherings. All this year we've been reading Mark, and we started getting to that part of Mark after Pentecost, which tells us how to be a disciple of Christ. We're getting now towards the end of the liturgical year. 6 weeks from now will be in Advent. So the readings for these last Sundays are going to be very, very important to us because they're getting to the heart of the matter, and this week's readings are no exception. When Jesus says something to us, it has to have a meaning for our discipleship. And each one of us has to determine what that meaning is. No one, pope or bishop or priest or monk or anybody else can get up and tell you, this is what it means for you. But prayerfully pondering the Word of God, who will, as he promised in the first reading, give us the wisdom to understand his ways, will bring us to the conclusions that we need to be faithful to our commitment of discipleship to Jesus.